Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. This could save you hundreds or thousands or a real inconvenience. Now I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. See, we're in the 120 Prado. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, or a lot, because there's a speed camera just up here. And this could educate you. You might learn a lot, or you might just learn about how the authorities work in Australia. But there's a speed camera just down here. And right at the moment there's a detour sign. Now I'm just going to pull over here so we can talk about it. Unfortunately we've got the sun in our eyes, but at the moment there's a detour sign in the way, which what I would like to point out is basically contrary to what people have said. So we put a couple other videos up just letting people know that these vehicles, and they can be a few different makes and models sort of thing, they're speed cameras. So there's a camera in the back window of the vehicle, okay, pointing out. And so the old speed cameras, the way they used to work, at least in Victoria, in Australia, you had to drive past it. Now I'm pretty sure they could get you on either side of the road depending on the setup of the road and that sort of thing, but generally you'd come up to the car and you could see an aerial or used to be a flash box out there. It was pretty obvious. That got obvious, so they got rid of that. Then there was something on the front, probably a flash or something on front, mounted on like a you know, those nudge bars. A lot of them had that. And now what they've done is, to get one step ahead, rather than shoot you out on an angle out the front window, they're getting you out the back window. Now, so this is a new thing. You can see a lot of cars. This is an 80 zone. There's a lot of people going past very slow. And what I'm doing here, pulled over on the side of the road for a moment, is going to be quite, you know, attract attention. People are going to slow down usually. So it's going to save a few people a bit of money. They're going past on average at about 60 Ks. See how the RAV4 touched the brakes? Once you see the car, it's too late. So we're not condoning speeding, don't speed, but you could accidentally find yourself cruising down this hill, it is downhill, and accidentally going a few Ks over the speed limit. And we all know that it's easy enough to do just a few Ks over, moving with the traffic. Often the traffic does 5, 10, 15 Ks over the speed limit, and you can find yourself moving, you know, like the pack of sheep, right? Like the sheep at the same sort of speed. So be aware, anytime you see a car sitting on the side of the road, particularly late model in the last couple of years, nice and shiny, usually a Kluger. This one's a Nissan, what do you call it, I think. We'll get up closer in a minute and have a look, because you probably can't see too much, but I don't want to block their vision for too long, because he'll probably certainly take photos of me, and you know, depending if I'm interfering with what they're doing, I'm sitting back hoping, of course, I'm not purposely interfering. There's that many cars, the roads are very quiet, not many cars on the road. 80k highway here, yes, there's a highway. It might not be, I'm not going to say the word, starts with L. It's like what you start your car with. The ignition gets, you know, lock, and then not up. The opposite of up is, yep, it's not that. But I'll tell you what, with all the fear and the so you've got that's probably a good percentage, probably, in my estimate, 33%. The other 33% is probably, should I say the word, isolate, you know, you've got to isolate, you know, close contacts, whatever it is. So that's that. And then the other 30% or whatever, it's like, mate, I'm too busy to worry about all this garbage. I've just got to get on with life. We've got to get on with it. It's gone on too long. Anyway, I'm here to save you a few bucks, right? So speed camera out the back window. Now, we did ask some questions and said, hey, put it in the comments, and I do welcome comments again, and I'll be having a look at those. Who knows for a fact how far these can get you up the road? Now, they are everywhere. They've really invested into these things. They're going to be making some money out of them. Here comes a car way too fast. They're slowing down a bit. Well, you'd probably be okay. Let's see if he hits the brakes. Yeah, no, he doesn't even know what's going on, right? So, you know, don't speed. So we're all for don't speed. Just sit on the speed limit, but it's easy enough to make that mistake. You know, late in the day, you're tired. They keep changing speed signs, you know, 80, 60, 40, 60, 100, 60, 80, 40. You know what it's like. Everybody's having a laugh going, yeah. Sorry about the sun in your eyes. We'll get up there to that car in a moment. But my point is, a couple hundred meters back, because I spot these things hundreds of meters off on purpose, because I'm just, you know, looking, I'm, you know, what's the word? I'm very alert to what's happening on the road, people around me, who's on the phone, who's swerving, who's trying to clean me up. You've got to be like that these days, right? So save your money in more than one way. There's much wise, experienced advice here for you. So, but what I noticed back there, and even now to a point, you've got to think where the rego number is. So I've got a line of sight from my eyes to the back window, but if I was to scoot down lower, right where that detour sign is, I don't know if you can see that yet, but I'll move up shortly. Right where that sign is going to be in the vision of the camera to get. I mean, I suppose there's a few cameras there, so I'm not saying it doesn't mean they can't get you hundreds of meters up the road. But I've taken note since I've seen these things. I've seen them setting up and packing up, and one thing they do, they park and they get out with a tape measure and measure the right distance from the side of the road. So they're all obviously calibrated and they need to be in the right position, all that sort of thing. But just like that, you'd think there's a possibility that detour sign it's certainly going to block some of the vehicles, because you know, they obviously use probably not radar, probably more likely laser detection to get the speed of the vehicle. It reflects off the vehicle, like the headlights, number plate, whatever, gets a bounce back to calculate that speed. And then obviously it takes a photo as you come closer. Now, if you haven't got a number plate or it's unreadable, of course, you're not going to get a ticket. But a lot of people do wear number plates because they're meant to. Can you believe how quiet the roads are? 7 p.m, right? It's like a ghost town, right? Now, it's just really quiet out there. Shops are quiet. Business owners are saying it's worse than, you know, lock thing again. Really bad, okay? So, anyway, everybody's got to do what they got to do. Each to their own, whatever. Let's move up a little bit closer before we move off. Move up before we move off. And let's take a bit of a look and see if we can see how many. Well, firstly, so do you know how far up the road these can or will pick you up? It's my belief that they're not going to be getting you a K away, half a K away. I think it's going to be within the 100 meters is what I believe, but I haven't asked the question yet. You know, we could pull up behind him, go knock on the window and have a bit of a chit chat, but they've got a little panic button there, and that's about the only time the police turn up in Australia, is when the police call the police or someone says gun. If you need the police and you're desperate, bad luck, they're not coming. We've seen it so many times and heard about it from so many people. It just doesn't happen. There's not enough. So don't rely, don't get smart with people, okay? Leave the crazy people alone, because you don't know what they've got, and you know, someone's always got more skills than you or a bigger gun than you or whatever they've got, right? Don't risk it, right? Violence, forget about it. Self-defense, last resort, okay? So just stay away from the crazy people. My point is, what is my point? Let's save you some money. So let's get up there. We've got a few cars coming past at the moment. Once we get another clear stretch. So what we want to work out is how far up the road do people need to be vigilant to not get caught up by this sort of camera. Is it going to get them 200 or 300 meters up the road? I'll tell you, to be honest, I don't think so. So I've risked it. Okay, so I've personally done a fraction over the speed limit, and no, certainly I didn't do that. Let's say I found myself going a fraction over the speed limit, and basically, yeah, I found myself a fraction over the speed limit, and I've actually, yeah, I'm having trouble concentrating, so. And I, you know, I found myself, I think I was doing about 10 Ks over, and I was probably about, I don't know, 150 meters up the road, maybe got down to even 50, and I went, oh no, it's got me. These things get you from miles away, right? No, that's not what we're seeing, because there's no ticket in the mail. That was a while ago, so we should be able to get going now. Right, we'll just take a bit of a look, let you know. There is, yeah, a couple of cameras in the back there, and they've got the antenna on the front. They've usually got the sunshade in. The car will be running the aircon for the occupant, and if they get nervous, they press the panic button, and the police turn up. Anyway, guys, just trying to save you a buck. Hopefully you like that. Hopefully you learnt something out of it. The lesson is, don't speed. They can get you from a long way up the road, okay? A long way up the road, they can get you. If you pull up there and you get out and you do anything silly, they'll hit the panic button, mate. Police will be there within minutes, most likely. They might, unless they get unlucky. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of other things. Anyway, guys, hopefully it saved you a few $100. Sorry about the light in your eyes, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be a beautiful sunset over there, the Savo. So we're going to check that out. We're out of here. In the comments, if you can, let us know if you know for a fact how many meters, because I don't think, give us a range. So, you know, it's anything from 20 meters to 200, or if you know, not guesses. We don't want guesses. And if it's a guess or an estimation or to the best of your knowledge, please write that. To the best of my knowledge, I think they can do anything from 300 meters out right up to the car, or they can definitely do half a K. Look, I'll have trouble believing it because I've tested it myself by accident. It was. Yeah, I reckon I'm just trying to picture the place. Yeah, good 100 meters, 50 to 100 meters. I'm trying to say about 100 meters or less. So if it didn't get me, I think it's a closer range. The angle the cameras are on and all that sort of thing, to be able to, they can't just, I'm sure the cameras, the lasers can't just adjust, you know, like a police officer holds a laser, he can change aim up and down the road, different angles. I'm pretty confident that it's when you're in a certain angle in that line of sight where it's going to check your speed, and then it's going to be set up to take your picture after that. Could be wrong, but I'm just using a bit of common sense again. Guys, hopefully, thanks for watching. Hopefully it saves you a buck. Just take it easy. Hope you got some advice from this. If you liked it, hit the like button. This is not what we're about, but every now and then we go off topic, and anything we can do to help people out and help them understand the way things are. And let us know if they're in your state, the same ones, different types, or in your country. What other countries run speed cameras like this with a camera out the back window? There's no signs, there's no warnings, there's no speed camera here. It's not, this is a dangerous area, slow down, speed cameras in the area. There's absolutely no warning whatsoever. You're just cruising down the road in the traffic, and bing, 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 everyone gets done because the leader was, you know, in a hurry, and everyone sort of just was pretty relaxed and followed on. You know how it goes. Anyway, I'm out here. See ya.